Okay, so I want to also now bring up the topic of Kim Kardashian. So Kim Kardashian did Jay Shetty's show, and in the show, I think the headline is like, "At night I cry myself to sleep." Or, as a single parent, I cry myself to sleep. And a lot of people were like, how dare her talk about crying herself to sleep? There's so many women who don't have the money that she has. She has so much support, staffing, and all of this and that. And I agree, yes, and if you did watch the interview, Kim starts out very clearly saying she wouldn't change anything about her life. She's very happy with her life. She's not complaining about her life. And so when she talks about like her crying herself to sleep because she's a single parent, I don't understand why people won't allow her to be vulnerable. Why can't this woman who has so much money cry herself to sleep? Money has nothing to do with how emotional she feels about the job that she does as a mother. And I think lots of mothers can have emotional breakdowns, even though they have tons of resources, right? It is a privilege, right? Because you're not worrying about the food that you have to put on the table, or the ex, or the partner, or the baby daddy that's not sending money. But I think there's just so much more to raising children than money, right? I think that's why people get upset with Nick Cannon, even though he has the money, but he's not there to provide the attention that these people deserve. So if Kim is crying about her children and saying that she cries her, being a single parent is difficult, I don't see why it's not okay for us to believe her, right? Or even, I don't know if she wants us to feel sorry for her, but I think she's just telling her truth. And I also think that Kim Kardashian and her whole family is something that a lot of people aspire to. They represent the ultimate in success, what a lot of people in society deems as the ultimate success. Some people might think that they're not successful because they have had broken marriages. They, marriage after marriage, relationship after relationships, they sort of haven't been successful in that area. But for the most part, people look at their lives and say, oh, this is the life that I want. All these influencers, even me as a business person, I would love to have a successful empire like the Kardashians. But just because I now go and have a successful empire, it doesn't mean that I'm any less human than the person that I started without the successful empire. So what I think is that maybe because people, it's like, it's hard to see the person that, or something that you're aspiring to now telling you, like, when they're at this top of the mountain, that the mountain is, there's trouble at the top, right? Or there's things, because that's what we think, that when we get to this mountain, when we get to where Kim Kardashian is, right, we're gonna be happy, and there's nothing, and whatever else there is, it's like we'll be able to deal with it. But Kim is saying that it's not necessarily so. I think Kim is revealing, right? Even though she's saying whatever she did say, I think what she's revealing is that you will still have to deal with your emotional side, even when you have all the money, the resources, and the whatever. That mental health, that self-care, that self-love, that confidence, that's something that money, power, influence cannot buy. So we can't take for granted how we feel emotionally, right? We can't assume that once we get all the money and we get all the resources and we're not wanting for physical needs, that everything is gonna just be super fine and super dandy, right? We have to take care of our spiritual self, our spiritual self, our emotional self, our wellness, our mental health, right? That is something that is separate from all the other parts. A lot of people who make it to the top and then all of a sudden there's sadness, we learn that they're depressed, because your emotional health is not the same as your physical or financial health. It's totally different, right? And although physical health and financial health also speak to your emotional health, because typically if you're not doing well in terms of finances, stressful, right? You're not gonna be happy if you can't pay your bills, your children are asking you for things, so you have that. But it also, what Kim reveals to me, even when you have it all, you still have that emotional side to deal with, right? Maybe she's crying to sleep because she has regrets. right? In terms of her relationship with the children of her father. Maybe she wishes they would have worked out, right? Maybe she's wishing that Kanye could have been a different partner to her, or maybe she's even wishing that she herself could be different in the sense that she didn't want to be more rich and more famous, that she wasn't so driven by her ambition, and she wished she could just adapt to a simpler life, and she's struggling internally with that. I don't know what Kim Kardashian, feels or exactly is, but I don't think that it's impossible for her to have sadness, right? Just because she has all the money and the experts around her and the opportunities. I just think that we can't put that much pressure on each other, right? To be like perfectionist and have no emotion, and then everything is fine. Everybody can be sad, everybody can have emotional challenges, and it's okay to express it even if you have a lot of money, because I don't think Kim Kardashian is the only person that's getting trolled or hate because she's talking about how she feels and how she cries herself to sleep. I think I think regular women like me and you, if you were doing really well and you're expressing how you feel, you cry yourself to sleep, and you feel like, I can't say that because I have everything else, so I can't talk about how I'm struggling with these emotions. I don't think that's fair. I think we should just hear people out, and it doesn't matter who they are. People have emotions. She's not a robot. She feels what she feels, and she cries herself to sleep, and then that's just it. She cries herself to sleep, and many people cry themselves to sleep. People with lots of money, people with no money, right? Our emotions are not the same as our physical well-being. They're different things, and we should allow people to express themselves and be humans. And that's just my take on it. I'm not like a Kardashian. Like, I don't even watch their show at all, to be honest. But I just don't think that a woman should be. I don't know why she gets so much hate, because the woman says she cries her night to sleep, because she's a single parent and has to take care of her children. I think it's even admirable that she wants to take care of her children, because she doesn't have to, right? She could not even wonder what they're, be like, wow, I've given, each one can have their individual nannies, and she doesn't even have to be connected to them emotionally, but she chooses to connect with them emotionally. So I think children, and so because she does that, she's obviously going to have feelings, and have feelings on how they feel, have empathy for them, and maybe the life that she's living sort of makes it difficult for her children, right? And so she's maybe struggling with that, and her personal desires to be, I'm not sure what she's trying to be anymore, the richest, most famous. Maybe she, I think she's already a billionaire, so I don't know. But I still think that she, I'm glad she shared that, and I think people should just look at it more like money doesn't fix everything. It fixes obviously a lot of things. I want money. I want to have $1 billion business. But I shouldn't be fooled to think that when I get this $1 billion business, everything else, I won't have any emotional problems. I'll still have to work on my spirituality, deal with my emotions. That's always going to be part of us, our lives, until the day we die. So that's just the facts, right? So give Kim a break and send her some love. That's my take on that.